Hello guys, welcome back to Approach Civils. Today we are back with important committees. These are the committees which were formed during the course of the development of Indian political system. And most of these committees are being asked in different examinations from time to time. Okay? So it's very important for you to at least remember these committees, their constitution, year of constitution, and as well as the purpose for the formation of these committees. First of all, it's very important for you to remember or understand that in 1947, when the Indian Independence Act was passed, it gave three options to princely states: either to join India or Pakistan or remain independent. Of the total of 552 princely states situated within the geographical boundaries of India, 549 joined India and the remaining three, Hyderabad, Junagadh and Kashmir, refused to join India. However, in course of time, they too were integrated within India. Hyderabad by means of police action, or you can say it was the work of Iron Man of India, Sardar Patel, Junagadh by means of referendum, and Kashmir by the instrument of accession. And in 1950, the constitution had a fourfold classification of the states, total 29 of the Indian Union, Part A, Part B, Part C and Part D states. What were these parts? Part A states were 9 earlier governor provinces of British India, and Part B states were 9 earlier princely states within earlier princely states with legislatures, and Part C states were earlier chief commissioners or the chief commissioner provinces of British India and some of the early princely states, and were centrally administered. The Andaman and Nicobar Islands were kept as a solitary Part D state, and the integration of princely states with the rest of India was purely an ad hoc arrangement. There was also demand from different regions, particularly South India, for reorganization of states on linguistic basis. That's why many committees were formed for the state reorganization. If you want to see the map of India, administrative divisions in 1951, you can see this was Bombay, Hyderabad, Mysore, Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, very few states. And different linguistic province committees were formed. And in June 1948, the Government of India appointed a Linguistic Provinces Commission under S.K. Dar. And this commission submitted its report in December 1948 and recommended administrative convenience as basis of reorganization of states rather than linguistic factor. This question might be asked in your examination, either it is a UPSC examination, KS examination or any other examination, that whether SK Dar accepted the linguistic basis for the creation of states. The answer is no. When SK Dar committee submitted its report in December 1941, this created much resentment and led to appointment of another linguistic provinces committee by the Congress in December 1948. It means that when SK Dar committee submitted its report and it was rejected by most of the states, especially South Indian states, the Congress government again constituted a new committee. Okay, and this committee was JVP committee, Jawaharlal Nehru, Vallabhbhai Patel and Pattabhai Sita Maiya, and it's popularly known as JVP committee. Sometimes if a question is asked about the chronological order of the creation of or the formation of these committees, you can easily answer these questions. The reason for putting up photograph of SK Dar or the photograph of different other heads of the committees is that you can correlate purpose of the committee with the faces of these people. Before proceeding further, I want to tell you that this video could not have been possible without the support of Reshy Theory. This channel has a very good content which can sharpen your mind and also helps you to build your knowledge base. Welcome back to Approach Civils. We were discussing about JVP committee. The JVP committee submitted its report in 1949 and it also rejected language as the basis of reorganization of states. And after that comes the State Reorganization Commission, and we also called it Fazl Ali Commission. It was constituted in 1953 to recommend reorganization of states. And there were 3 members in this committee: Fazl Ali, K.V. Panikkar and H.N. Kunzru. This commission has made many recommendations, like it acknowledged four major factors to be taken into account in any scheme of reorganization of states. It has given a broad idea about the reorganization of states. One was linguistic and cultural homogeneity, preservation and strengthening of the unity and security of the nation, financial, economic and administrative considerations, planning and promotion of the welfare of the people in each state as well as of the nation as a whole. And as a result of State Reorganization Act 1956 was passed by the Parliament to give effect to the recommendation of the Commission, and it led to the formation of 14 states and 6 union territories. This question has been asked in UPSC, SSC examination and also in KS examination, that after the passing of Act of 1956, how many states were formed and how many union territories were formed. So you have to remember this question. Then there was a committee called Sardar Soran Singh Committee. You have to remember the objective of this committee. This committee was formed in 1976 to recommend about the fundamental duties, the need and necessity of which was felt during the operation of internal emergency. You know that during 1975 to 77 there was an internal emergency, and the recommendations of Sardar Soran Singh Committee were inclusion of a separate chapter on fundamental duties in the Constitution. This committee also stressed that the citizens should become conscious that in addition to the enjoyment of rights, they have also certain duties to perform as well. The Congress government at centre accepted these recommendations and enacted 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act in 1976. This question might be asked, that by which Constitutional Amendment Act fundamental duties were introduced into the Constitution. And this Constitutional Amendment Act added Part 4A of the Constitution. Question might be interlinked: Soran Singh Committee, 42nd Constitutional Amendment and Part 4A of the Constitution. This new part consists of one article, that is 51A. So in this section we have 1, 2, 3, 4 things to remember. Okay. The Verma Committee was constituted in 1999 on fundamental duties of the citizens. Okay, it found the legal provisions for the implementation of some fundamental duties. Okay, the prevention of insults to national honor 1971 prevents disrespect to the Constitution of India, the national flag and national anthem. As you all know that under Article 51A, Part A, there is to abide by the Constitution and respect the ideals and institutions, the national flag and the national anthem. Okay. Another is the various criminal laws in force provide for punishment for encouraging enmity between different sections of people on grounds of language, race, place of birth, religion and so on. Third is the Protection of Civil Rights Act 1955. It provides for punishment of offences related to caste and religion. The Indian Penal Code declares the imputations and assertions prejudicial to national integration as punishable offense. Other recommendations were Unlawful Activities Prevention Act 1967 provided for the declaration of the communal organization as an unlawful association. Another is the Representation of Peoples Act 1951. It provides for the disqualification of members of parliament or a state legislature for indulging in corrupt practices, that is, soliciting votes on the ground of religion and promoting enmity between different sections. Okay. Another is Wildlife Protection Act 1972, which prohibits trade in rare and endangered species. The Forest Conservation Act 1980 checks the indiscriminate deforestation and diversion of forest land for non-forest purposes. Then, next important commission is the Sarkaria Commission. Keep the face of RS Sarkaria in your mind and remember all the recommendations of this commission. In 1983, the central government appointed a 3-member commission on center-state relations under the chairmanship of RS Sarkaria and tasked him to examine and review the working of existing arrangements between the center and the states. And this commission has made a lot of recommendations about the office of governor, about different tribunals. If we try to sum up the recommendations of the Sarkaria Commission, the Commission did not favor structural change and regarded the existing constitutional arrangement and principles relating to the institutions sound, but it emphasized on the need for change in the functional and operational aspects. It observed that over-centralization leads to blood pressure at the center and anemia at the periphery. It has made recommendations about the office of governor, about different tribunals also. About the office of governor, Sarkaria Commission recommended that to provide greater neutrality to the person holding the office of the governor, the Sarkaria Commission has suggested certain standards to be followed by the central government while appointing a person to the office of governor. According to Sarkaria Commission, state must be consulted before the appointment of a person to the office of governor. The governor should not belong to the same state and he should be an eminent figure in any walk of life. He should not have been actively involved in politics in recent past. Okay? And system of Sarkaria Commission also said that the governor should continue sending fortnightly report to the President of India. The Sarkaria Commission also made some recommendation related to the tribunals. As per Sarkaria Commission, once an application under the Interstate River Disputes Act is received from the riparian state, the union government should set up a tribunal within a period of 1 year. He has made other recommendations also. We are planning to upload a video specially for center-state relations, and we will discuss all these commissions in detail. And now there was one more commission was set up in 2007 under M.M. Punche. Okay, Madan Mohan Punche. He was the Chief Justice of India, and this commission was made to look into the issues of center-state relations, keeping in view the sea changes that have taken place in the polity and economy of India since the Sarkaria Commission. He made different recommendations related to the office of governor like fixed tenure, powers, etc. And he made clear guidelines for the appointment of CMs. Among the significant suggestions made by the commission, laying down of clear guidelines for the appointment of chief minister was important one. Upholding the view that a pre-poll alliance should be treated as one political party, it lays down the order of precedence that ought to be followed by the governor in case of hung house. He also said that single largest party with the support of others may be called to form a government. It also talked about National Integration Council. He said that the creation of an overriding structure to maintain internal security along the lines of US Homeland Security Department. M.M. Punche also made some recommendations related to the deployment of central forces. According to M.M. Punche, to make an amendment in the Communal Violence Bill to allow deployment of central forces without the state consent for a short period. It made other recommendations also, but as promised, we are going to make one detailed lecture on Punche Commission. Now, there is Balwant Rai Mehta Committee. In 1957, Government of India appointed a committee to examine the working of Community Development Program, which was earlier launched in 1952. This question has been asked in many examinations, that when was Community Development Program launched? And there was one more program, National Extension Service 1953. The recommendations made by Balwant Rai Committee include: the committee submitted its report in November 1957 and recommended the establishment of a scheme of democratic decentralization, which ultimately came to be known as Panchayati Raj institutions. Balwant Rai Committee made these recommendations: that three-tier structure for PRIs, Zilla Parishad, Mandal Parishad and Gram Panchayat. It was the first committee to propose a three-tier structure of Panchayati Raj institutions in India. It also proposed indirect elections for Zilla Parishad and Mandal Parishad and direct elections for Gram Panchayat. It recommended transfer of power and responsibilities to these institutions and transfer of resources to discharge these responsibilities. Balwant Rai Committee also recommended that all social economic development programs must be channelized through these institutions. It recommended tenure of 5 years to these Panchayati Raj institutions. Now, in 1977, one more committee was constituted related to Panchayati Raj institutions. It was Ashok Mehta Committee. It was formulated by Janata government under the chairmanship of Ashok Mehta. It submitted its report in August 1978 and made 132 recommendations to revive and strengthen the declining Panchayati Raj system in India. Its recommendations included two-tier structure for PRIs, Zilla Parishad and Mandal Parishad, open participation of political parties in elections of PRIs, social audit by district level agencies, compulsory taxation to power, reservation of SC, STs and women, separate ministry of PRIs in the state. Government should not supersede PRIs. If so done, elections must be held within 6 months. Then Sardar Ali Committee was constituted by the government of Rajasthan in 1964. You know, Rajasthan was the first state to introduce Panchayati Raj system in Nagaur. He made recommendations related to the reasons for the failure of PRIs. Meeting of Gram Sabhas were not announced. When meetings were arranged, they were not used to discuss people's problems, but were used as a platform to promote government policies and initiatives. Meetings were mostly organized during peak agricultural seasons. So he just want to say that there was some irregularity in the functioning of PRIs. No record of Gram Sabhas were maintained, as a consequence of which there was absolutely no progress. One more important committee was formed in 1962. It was appointed by Lal Bahadur Shastri. Was known as Santhanam Committee. This question has been asked in every exam. This is the pet question of most of the commissions. This committee was also known as Santhanam Committee on Anti-Corruption. It was the Central Vigilance Commission which was established on the recommendation of this committee in 1964. Thank you guys. I hope that you are benefiting from this course. Subscribe to this channel and press the bell icon so that you can get the notifications related to different sections of general studies, which include Indian history, world history, polity, economy, international relations.